Lisa struggled to break free from the man's grasp, but his grip was strong. She could feel his icy breath on her face as he leaned in closer. She closed her eyes, expecting the worst. But suddenly, the grip on her neck loosened. Lisa opened her eyes to see the man stumble backwards, his face contorting in pain. She saw a dark figure standing behind him, wielding a silver cross. The figure stepped forward, revealing himself to be a priest. "Be gone, foul demon," he shouted, holding the cross up high. The man let out a blood-curdling scream as he was engulfed in a bright white light. Lisa shielded her eyes from the glare. But when she looked again, the man was gone. The priest turned to Lisa, offering her a hand to help her up. "Are you okay, my child?" he asked, his face kind and gentle. Lisa nodded, still in shock from the encounter. "Thank you," she managed to say, her voice trembling. The priest smiled at her. "You're lucky I was passing by." He said that man was possessed by a demon. Lisa's heart was still pounding as she looked around the cemetery, trying to catch her breath. The priest noticed her fear and put a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You don't have to be afraid anymore," he said. "The demon has been banished. You're safe now." Lisa nodded, grateful for the priest's help. She looked back at the grave marker. She had tripped over and saw something strange. The name on the marker was the same as the man who had just attacked her. "What happened to him?" she asked the priest. "He died many years ago." The priest replied, "But his soul was restless and the demon took hold of him." It's a common occurrence in cemeteries like this one. Lisa shuddered at the thought of the man's soul being trapped in the cemetery, tormented by a demon. She knew she had to get out of there as soon as possible. "Thank you for saving me," she said to the priest. "I think I've had enough of cemeteries for one night." The priest nodded understandingly. I'll walk you to your car," he said as they walked through the rows of tombstones. Lisa couldn't help but feel like something was watching her. She glanced around, but there was no one there. She chalked it up to her imagination and continued on when they reached her car. The priest bid her farewell and blessed her before she drove away. Lisa breathed a sigh of relief as she left the cemetery behind her. She knew she would never forget that night, and she made a mental note to never return to that cemetery again. Little did she know the demon that had possessed the man was still lurking in the shadows, waiting for its next victim.